Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Olivia, and in today's video I would like to show you how you can achieve a bokeh background, which is the term you see a lot in photography. What it means is, let's say, the object that is in focus and whatever behind them is totally out of focus, so it blurry and it creates sort of like a circle form that is like a light source. So I've been testing and trying new technique to achieve that style of effect without like taking too much time, because obviously is a lot of color in bokeh background. And so sometimes I like to focus on the background a little bit more, but sometimes I do not. So I think it would be great if you can achieve something quite nice, give you a nice result and doesn't take too much time. So this page I done just a few days ago, and I think compare like when you have to just colors in using color pencil and create a sort of light source, I think this technique is really quick. It gives you quite a nice result too. Obviously I'm not using like a lot of color for this little circle. I don't use a lot of colors and I just use white, which is okay. I think like when you look the overall picture, it still look really nice. And probably later on when I will do another video how to do a proper bokeh background, which is for more like advanced colorists. And because a lot of my subscribers, most of them is beginner colorist or advanced beginner, so I would like to finding way that is a little bit easier for you all to achieve. Either you are just beginner or you are coloring for a long time. So what I use for this background, I did use inktense. You don't need a 72 set to do this background, you just need a few colors. So if you have a few colors of inktense, a small set of inktense, which is alright too, obviously you don't have to use exactly the same colors that I do, but just try to like look up some sort of bokeh photography just to see like what sort of colors of the base, and then you can pick out the similar colors for your coloring. So the page that I will do today is this little page here, which is a deer. And beside from inktense, I will also use a few of the Faber-Castell Alberdura, which is this one. Sorry, my dog was drinking his water in the background, so if you hear like a slopping sort of sound, yeah, it's my dog. So why I use this one, I use two color of the Faber-Castell Alberdura because I found that this inktense, the Derwent inktense, is very intense colors, and sometimes if you want a nice gradient, you have to put more water in it, and the inktense sometimes is leave a little bit of texture behind, because obviously the paper in coloring book is not made for water. So mostly water's medium will not dissolve very well, and when I try to make nice gradient fade out from light to dark, is the light area, it doesn't leave like a smooth fade out, like fade out to the white. So I use this light color from Faber-Castell and they did pretty good job. So for this background, I will do from blue, from down here is blue, and I will fade it out to a sort of like a cobalt blue green sort of colors. These are all the colors I have right here. I'll just zoom it in so you can see. So for the Derwent Inktense, I have the bright blue, iron blue, teal blue, and for the Faber-Castell Albadura, I have light cobalt turquoise and light petal green. So with the Derwent Inktense, I highly recommend you swatch them out and see how they dry, because usually when they dry, they're a little bit darker, a bit duller than the color that you initially get when you just react them with water. So it's really good idea that you're gonna swatch them out, because sometimes like this bright blue here, it is a nice bright blue, but the color that is shown right on the tip of the pencil is a very dark color. So it is really hard to judge what sort of color you have. This is all the color I'm gonna use for today. And you also need a white watercolor. The reason why I use watercolor is because watercolor is a translucent medium, and when you do the little round circle to act as a light source, you want it to show the colors underneath to show through and not completely cover, because you have to do like a light layer first, which is very thin layer of white, so the colors underneath show through, and then you can do like a little bit more opaque, so it's give you the feeling of, you know, the light it come from far away and some of the light is come closer. Another thing you can use instead of watercolor is if you had pen pastel. So pen pastel is like pastel, but they're very opaque and grimy, so you can use them to create the light source, like the little round circle. So after you put watercolor the base on, you can use your sponge or whatever just to use pen pastel, but they are quite pricey, so I don't own any of them. But if you want to get one, I recommend you get the white one, because it will quite useful for you when you do background. And no, you can use soft pastel. We will use a soft pastel at the end just to like touch it up, but you cannot use soft pastel to create the white circle because they're not very opaque, so they don't show as nice on the paper, so I don't really use them. So that is about the medium that we're gonna use today. I'm just gonna start now. So if you already work with Inktense before, I'm pretty sure you know how they work. So they are ink in the form of the pencil, and you just, you know, color them in. You don't need to like completely cover the page, or no, like you don't have to like press the pencil very hard because they're very intense color. So I'll go in with my bright blue, like with this one. So you just need to put a nice layer down. You don't need to like cover the page or whatsoever. I don't really need to put pressures on them at all. I just pretty much try to put the color down. One thing that I would recommend is you don't do the pencil stroke very big space. If you can, just do them in little circle, like not little, but like do them in circle and the stroke quite close to each other. If you worry about, you know, the pencil got onto other object, don't worry, because the normal color pencil will able to go on top of the Inktense. But if you worry, then just be a little bit more careful. I'm not really worried about that. So what I do now, I still just put there. As you can see, my pencil is quite blunt. I don't really sharpen up because when it's a blunt pencil, I feel like it gives you more even pencil lay down, and when you activate with the water, it won't leave like a lot of pencil stroke underneath. But obviously when it's nearly finished, then you you have to sharpen it up. Okay, so now I'm gonna add in the iron blue, this one right here, which is a darker green, darker blue, and I'm just gonna add in a little bit right here, like where you see like it's covered by a lot of object. I just want it dark. So that's is a dark color, and then we go back up here. We're gonna go in with your teal green, this one right here, which is a very nice green. I love this green so much. I'm just gonna put it in, and it looks scary, but don't worry, like that when you add in the water, it's gonna dissolve eventually. When I do watercolor background, I don't really like to go in straight to the gap right here, because sometimes if you not control the water, like the water may bleed to the other place. So I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna leave it like that, and then I will make the color fade out. And then I will use light Teal Green right here, this one, and I will just continue to edit it. I think now I'm gonna add in the light cobalt turquoise, this one right here. So when you color like this, try to sort of mush, blend the two color together. When you activate with water, it will create a nice gradient. It might look like very messy now, but don't worry, when you put the water to activate, it will be okay. Okay, so now, so our color done. I'm just gonna put them on the side. Now you can use any brush you like. You don't have to use the same brush that I am, but I will use this Teal watercolor brush, and I'm actually gonna dip them in water because the inkten is dry really quick, and if you're not quick enough, then you cannot reactivate them with water, if you understand what I mean. Like when it already dry, it dry really quick, and when it dry, it will leave a little line where the water dry, and if you go in too slow, it will actually leave it like that, and it not blend very nicely. So I'm just gonna use it, dip in the water a little bit. So I'm gonna do it from light to dark, but you can also do it from dark to light, however you like it. So as you can see, once I put the water in, it blends very nicely. You don't have the same problem with the Faber-Castell Apertura. because they are actually watercolor, so they're not, if it's dry and you can go back in, it will just blend nicely. Oh, talk about this, I should put a paper underneath. You should always protect your pages underneath. Very gentle with your brush stroke. Make sure you don't rub the paper too much when it's still wet. Like you try to blend out, but don't rub it too much because then you will rub the papers out. Okay. Now, if you already add in the color and you want to add more, you have to wait until it's like fairly dry and not like so wet, because if you add it in when it's still like wet, then it will make your paper like more wet and it will tear the paper. So now I'm done with the whole background. You see like this spot right here, I want to add a little bit more color so it won't show the line like so I'm gonna just, with your brush, obviously wet, you're gonna just go in with whatever color you like. I'm just gonna go like just touch the tip and you pick up the color from that and you just go in with more color like so. Gonna add a little bit more right there. I think I'm gonna add in a bright green, bright blue instead. Bright blue. Okay, I'm gonna add in a little bit of bright blue. done with that green. And if your brushes have color, you just clean it up on the piece of paper like so. Just clean it up, just wipe it up on the piece of paper. And then I go back in with the iron blue, the darkest blue, and I also just gonna try to blend out the color a little bit more. So that is what it look like right now. It look very crinkly, so I will just let it dry, and then I will run an iron through it between the two pieces of paper. Put the pipe between the two pieces of paper and put your iron on very low heat. Just run through it and it will flatten it out a little bit. So now the page is already dry. It will leave some of the little bit of buckle, but I'm not really worried about it. But if you worry, then I guess this like watercolor technique is not for you. So what I have here is a stencil, and of course you can use a ruler that have the little circle as well, but I'm just gonna use this. And I use a Prismacolor white pencil, just mark out where you wanna put your thing. Sure, I'm gonna do that here so it's easier for you to see. So I'm gonna do around here because up there is quite light, so obviously you cannot see. So what you would like to do is you get your watercolors out. I'm gonna use a white watercolor, and I use a tube one. Let me see, where's my tube. So I just use a normal student range one. It's nothing like expensive. I'm gonna use a Marie's or watercolor, and this is white, and I just squeeze a little bit on the blade or wherever you use your watercolor, and then just pump a little bit of water onto the blade. So you're gonna want dilute it quite a little bit at the start, and that's make it more translucent, and the colors underneath will show through a little bit better. And then later we're gonna go in with like less water and more of the color, so make it more opaque. I'm gonna do right here. So it look like opaque now, but it will dry a little bit more translucent. So just put this down like so. So you see, it's just like that. And you do for a few of them, not all, because you want to leave a few so you can do like a opaque one. So after you've done all the light layer, so as you can see, this is where our watercolor is. So you're gonna get it a little bit of water only and get mostly from this. So it's more, it will be a bit more opaque than at the start. You dilute it with a lot of water. So, and I will go in on top of this. As you can see, is more opaque, more white, like that. So now we are nearly done. You're just gonna leave it dry, and if you like it just like this, then it's absolutely fine. But if you accidentally go into a peak with the white bubble, then you can, it's such a trick, is you don't have to do it. I think with this one we done right here. But if you go in like to a peak for some of them and the colors underneath not show through, you can use chalk pastel, and what you do is so what you would do is you pick out the similar color to your background. So let's say this one is say up here is maybe green teal color, so I'm gonna pick a teal sort of color, and instead of scratching it on here, you just use a makeup pad and you just just get the color on the pad. That's where you get like a right amount of the color, and you use this and you just dab a few of the one that you think is too opaque and you want is a little bit look more translucent. So when you do this, because the chalk pastel can go on top of the watercolor, so it will show through. Let's say for down here, I'm not really sure what's color, maybe the blue here, yeah. So for this one down here, I will do for you maybe this one. Maybe this one right here. I think it's a little bit too opaque, right? And I just rub it. And as you can see, it brings down the opacity of the white. So it will look like it's translucent. So that's the trick, the tip for you. If you go a little bit too heavy hand with the white, then you can absolutely go back in with the chalk pastel and just make it you know, a little bit more translucent. So nothing to worry about really. So it's like the great blue right here, maybe I'll add a little bit right here, right there. And you are pretty much done. So that is it for today's video. I hope you have a fun time with me. I hope you learned something. If you like my video, share with your friend, please thumbs up and leave a comment, and I will see you in the next video very soon. In the meantime, please take care of yourself. Happy coloring.